Hi, my name is Summer Rao, and today I'll be talking about significant figures. We use sig figs for the accuracy and consistency of data when we obtain results. There are 4 rules to determine the amount of significant figures in a value. The rule is that all non-zero digits in a number are significant. So, for example, if we have the number 111, that would be 3 sig figs. And if I had the number 5,359, that would be 4 sig figs. The second rule is that the zeros to the left of the first non-zero digit are considered insignificant. So, for example, in 0.01, because all the zeros are to the left of that significant one digit, those zeros are considered insignificant. So that number would only have 1 sig fig. The third rule is that zeros between non-zero digits are considered significant. So, for example, in 2021, like the number 2021, because the 0 is in between non-zero digits, the 0 is actually considered significant. So that would have 4 sig figs. And same with 202. And because the 0 is between non-zero digits, that's considered significant. So there are 3 total sig figs. Last rule is that zeros at the end of a number that includes a decimal point are actually considered significant. So, for example, 12.000 has 5 sig figs because the zeros are past the decimal place. So that would be 5 sig figs in that number. When taking measured values, make sure to add an extra significant digit to the measured number for estimation purposes. Multiplying or dividing the number of significant figures is determined by the number with the fewest sig figs. So, for example, here, since I have 5.00 times 5.0, you only use 2 sig figs because 5.0 has the least amount of sig figs. And for the division example, because there's 3.00 divided by 2.0, 2.0 has less sig figs than 3.00, so you have to use 1.5 as the answer. Adding or subtracting, the answer should have the same amount of decimal places as the value with the fewest sig figs after the decimal point. This is a little confusing, but like in the example right here, so we have 2.73 and we have to add 1.0, but not 1.00, it's just 1.0. So the answer would be 3.73, but since 1.0 has a fewest amount of sig figs, the answer would just be 3.7. For log functions, final answers should have the number of decimal places as the initial value sig figs. So, for example, 80 has 2 sig figs, and we're taking the log of 80, so we have to use 2 decimal places. So instead of 1.903, we use 1.90.